hello. Hi there, hello. Lovely to see you all. Are you having a lovely time at Big Lit Comic Con? I can't hear you, are you? That's more like it. I'm Claire, I'm your moderator for today. Are you ready for the next panel? Any Walking Dead fans here? That was really loud and I love it. Guys, please put your hands together and all the way for Chandler Riggs. All the way, volume up, all the way, volume up. Keep it going till he gets to the stage. Really loud, really loud, really loud. That's your mic there. I don't know why I was jumping up and down, Chandler. As you can... Guys, there he is.
Hey guys.
Hey. Chandler, how are you doing? Are you enjoying the show so far?
Yeah, it's been great. Thank you guys so much for having me out here in Roanoke. It's my first time here, and it's been amazing. You guys have been so nice, so kind, so welcoming. It's awesome.
Aren't they the loveliest people?
Yeah, it's
I
great.
love Roanoke. You guys are so nice. I mean, I know you do a million Comic Cons. You've done lots before, but what are your kind of favorite things about meeting fans?
Oh man, I love it when just people just come up to me and tell me just how much like my character means to them. It just like re-inspires why I do what I do is just to be able to impact people in some way. So if I can be able to make you feel something, whether it's you're yelling at the TV at my character for doing something stupid or you're crying because of something he's going through, then that means I did my job. So I love it when you guys tell me things like that and kind of open yourself up to the characters and everything. It means a lot to me.
I mean, you were very young, as we all know, when you first joined the show. Let's go back to when you found out you got the role. As a little boy, how did you feel? Was it like the most exciting feeling?
Oh yeah, I was 10 years old, and I had done about a couple of other movies and commercials and things like that. But The Walking Dead was like, I had started reading the comics when I got the audition, and it was just such an awesome character that I was really hoping that I would get. And yeah, when we got the call, I was like running around the house, and I was like, yeah! I was just like so stoked and so happy. And I think like later that day, we went back to the comic book store and got like the whole rest of the comics for me to read and catch up on. It was great.
And they're such great comics.
They are
so good. Because primarily, the same with the TV show, they're about people and everyone's relationships with each other. But when you were so young, being a very young actor, and you read the comics, did you have a feeling of what you wanted to bring to that character? I know you were a younger actor then, but what were your first thoughts reading that character?
Yeah, well, that was kind of the goal with reading, at least just getting an idea of just what I'm going to be dealing with and what I'm going to have to get to, like, emotionally accomplish as this character. And I mean, I feel like just the general theme with the show and with the comics is that it's a very dark and bleak world. Any comic book readers out there? How many of you guys we got here? Hey, that's a good amount. That's a good amount. Nice. So you guys know, it's like in the comics, it's really dark and really heavy, a lot more so than the show. So, that was really kind of what the goal was to try to bring that to the screen and kind of bring that to life in a way that reaches a broader audience. And I think we accomplished that.
I love the cast members. I've interviewed so many of the cast members. Ross is a good friend, and Dan and I are writing a comic together. And what I love about the cast is the camaraderie and the friendships. And you're all daft. You're all silly and daft. And you clearly had a great time. So are there any particular cast members that were like mentors to you or that were very close to you on set growing up?
Yeah, I mean, you guys kind of already know the answer to this. The guy that played my dad, Andy, was just like, every day that guy showed up on the set, he knew he was just the most prepared person I have ever seen, and in my career since the show, have still seen. Like, he showed up to set, he knew every like, I never saw him with sides in his hands. Like, he never came to set like with a script in his hand. He knew everything that was happening that day, inside and out. He knew all of the stage direction down to like the verbatim He knew everyone else's lines. Like he knew everything that was on the script, like down to a T, and just always came so prepared and so willing to just give 100% of his time and energy. And at the same time, he has his family over in England that he was trying to raise. You know, he had his kids and his wife, so it was so admiring to watch him kind of be able to straddle both worlds and put 100% of time and energy into both things and have them both, you know, be successful.
Are you like that as a person anyway? Are you quite a prepared person, or is that something you had to learn from him?
Yeah, well, it's something that he kind of inspired everyone to do on the set.
So he brought the level up, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So if you know, if the guy that's there, you know, working, you know, just as hard as the crew and is, you know, pushing himself physically and mentally and emotionally and everything and linguistically because he's in a different accent too.
Yes.
You know, then and then everyone else, you know, brings it up to that level. You know, both cast and crew. So really, I think everyone was just inspired by his level of commitment, and it made the show that much better.
But were there any days as well, because, you know, it's a silly job as well, and, you know, being on set is incredible, but it can be sort of silly. Any moments that brought you out of that and you thought, wait a minute, this is my job, this is weird? Like when a zombie maybe kind of got up and went, oh, my back, or, you know what I mean?
It was like that almost all the time, you know, they'd say cut and like the zombies would go off and they'd like go smoke a cigarette, or they would go like, you know, go over to Crafty and, you know, you go get a water and you're like, hey, what's up, Kevin? And he's like, hey, man. He's like all in this makeup, you know? So it's, I mean, it was always, you know, very, I mean, I get asked all the time if it was like scary or anything. It's all so coordinated and so like, you know, we get the script in advance. We all know exactly what we're doing, exactly what's happening and what we're going to have to do way beforehand. So, yeah, in all of those moments, it's like, we're always taken out of it in those weird moments.
I know that when you found out about Carl's death, it was a bit of a surprise. You know, you sort of found out, you know, kind of slowly in a sort of weird way, but you had already bought a house, is that correct? And planned to go study as well in Atlanta, is that correct?
Yeah, I had just kind of like really like set myself up for the next like, you know, 3-4 years of okay, you know, I'm gonna be on, I just like renewed for the next few years on the show, and yeah, I was gonna go to University of Georgia and you know, just do the show, so I got a house down next to the set. Yep, and then yeah, got the word. But yeah, that's how it goes. Like the kind of like the curse like amongst the cast. It was like there were so many times where it happened where like a cast member would like buy a place down near the set, and then they'd like immediately they'd find out and get the word. So and I'm not the first one that had happened to, and that's just how it goes. You know, you just kind of roll with the punches and go with it and be gracious of the amazing opportunity for the time that you had on the show.
How do you feel now looking back at that, because you had to pivot your life a little bit and obviously change? I think you moved back to LA, is that correct?
Well, yeah, I'm from Georgia originally, so I moved out to LA from there, yeah.
So how do you feel now? Are you not glad? Obviously it's sad the show's ending, it's sad, you know, about your character, but do you feel that's the way the universe was sort of guiding you now? Do you feel okay about it?
Yeah, I mean, it's it's when one door closes, another opens, and there was like so many other doors that opened out in LA, and I was able to jump on another show for a little while and do a whole bunch of indie movies and have these amazing experiences that I never would have had if I were still on the show. So it's been great. I have a production company now, and I'm, you know, I'm directing like just got off set a couple days ago directing. So yeah, it's been, you know, it's a bummer to have to leave, but it's been great to do other projects.
How's the directing going then? Obviously, I think what makes great directors is they understand the acting process as well. So how's it going, directing?
It's great, yeah. It's I mean, the short films that, you know, I'm directing these with my roommate who I own the production company with, and we Yeah. It's like it's a awesome, fun process. But our crew is really small. It's just me and him, and like maybe like 3 other people. So I end up like, you know, I end up producing all of them. I end up ADing. I end up, you know, pulling focus and like, you know, removing lights and doing all this stuff. And sometimes I'm running sound at the same time. So on Wednesday it was like I was like holding the boom mic like up in the front of a car, and I'm sitting in the back seat like trying to pull focus at the same time. So it's and direct and try to like direct the actors. So it's a very like extreme level of like of this process, but it's been great. It's been so much fun. It's been such a crazy departure from all my past experience as an actor. It's been great.
Do you have like a preference from being on a big set that's slick and it's got a lot of money behind it, or do you prefer that sort of indie style way of directing and acting? Which do you prefer?
I think there's a good balance, you know. Yeah. I think when you have a decent budget, it makes everyone's lives a lot easier, you know. But if you get too big and it's like too, you know, large and expansive, then it loses that like indie magic where people are like really there for the story and really there to like help tell the story, and it ends up just being where they're just like kind of phoning it in and just like, oh, let's put the light here, and they just shoot for coverage and all that stuff. So there's a fine balance between like everyone getting like paid enough to where they're like happy to show up to work, and to the point where it's like the story is good enough that everyone really cares about it and wants to put their heart and soul into it. And I think that's kind of where the show really captured its magic. It really was kind of that mix of both. It felt like, you know, those first few seasons we were like it felt like we were an indie production, but we were all just passionate about telling the story and about just making it as good as it can be.
It's crazy how much it took off. Absolutely mad, which is amazing. But I wanted to ask you about horror in general. Were you a horror kid growing up? I think you were. I think
kind of. Yeah, I played a lot of like horror games.
What are your favorites? I'm a big gamer.
Yeah, oh man. Well, actually, right now I'm playing through Resident Evil 3, the remake, just because I hadn't played the remakes for 2 and 3 yet. So yeah, I'm playing through 3 right now. But I loved Outlast. Was way up there for me. Loved Outlast.
Is so great.
It was great. Great. And Amnesia. That was like one of my first PC games ever.
So good. Have you played Layers of Fear?
Yeah. Layers of Fear is great.
Layers of Fear 2 awesome. With Tony Todd. No.
I didn't play the second one. I played the first one.
I will say nothing.
Yes.
I will say nothing.
Yes.
We'll talk later.
Yes.
Oh my God, so good. Before we hand over to the fans, because I want you guys to ask questions as well. I wanted to ask you a few more questions. First of all, what you thought about the Walking Dead finale? Were you like, yes, this is the right way for things to end, or?
Yeah, well, you know, it's an interesting like. I mean, how many of you guys have seen the final episode of the main show?
Okay,
nice.
Right. Okay,
a good amount of you guys.
Okay.
Yeah, so I feel like it was like a great season. Well, it's hard because you have 3 more spin-offs coming after, and the audience knows it. You know, they know that some of these characters are going, like, you know, specific ones are going to live and are going to come back. So I feel like it's hard to really like wrap up, you know, so many storylines when the audience knows that it will continue in other shows. So I think it was a fantastic way to like, you know, really try to wrap up as much as they could. But yeah, I think they did the best job that they could to wrap up the main show and wrap up the characters that they could wrap up.
And finally, you know, I've met so many Walking Dead fans over the years, interviewing folks like yourself. What do you think defines a Walking Dead fan? Because it's got such a huge fan base, and the community bloody love it. So, what do you think defines a Walking Dead fan?
Man, I mean, you guys are just die-hard fans. Like, it is really incredible that I can come to these conventions, you know, almost 14 years after my first day on set, and you know, this many of you guys still come here to listen to me ramble about, you know, all this stuff. It really is incredible. So, I am just so fortunate to have such dedicated people like you guys come back and come listen to me talk about my experience on the show. It's really amazing.
It's Chandler. Give a round of applause for Chandler. He's so lovely. Go on, you guys, make it louder. Okay, we're going to hand over to the fans now. We've got Marshall here. There's Marshall. I'm going to say hi to Marshall.
Hi, Marshall.
Hi, Marshall. Put your wee hands up if you've got a question for Chandler. He will come over and he will give you the mic.
Right here.
Okay, hello, what's your name and your question, friend?
Hello, yes, I'm Cody Brew. I was just wondering that a lot of actors that have such a significant role like yours, is it going to be a challenge for you to make your own stake in the world when it comes to acting and not just be stuck as Carl from The Walking Dead?
Yeah, well, fortunately, you know, I've been off the show for about 6 years now, and so I've done other projects here and there, and I mean, last year I did a rom-com and a comedy, and it's you know, I think when these projects come out and they come to light, I think it will hopefully be harder to see me as just Carl, you know, and as more of you know, more as an adult actor as I'm kind of stepping into. So yeah, it's you know, it's just kind of, it is what it is, and whatever happens is kind of where I'm at with it. Yeah.
Thank you, friend. Next up, what's your name and question?
Hi, my name's Jenny. I have a question you probably won't be able to answer. Will we see Carl in any flashbacks in any of the upcoming spin-offs?
I hope so, you know. I'm not sure if there's any, the story, like right now in like the timeline of the show, it's like Carl's been dead for like 10 years or something, you know? So I don't know if there's any like storylines that are happening right now that are relevant to when Carl was alive, you know, that would, you know, inspire a character at all. So I'm not really entirely sure, but I would love to come back and I'd love to, you know, reprise the role in a way if asked. But yeah, we'll see.
Thank you. And oh yes, hello, sir. What's your name and question?
My name's Tony, and my question, Carl, is you were very insightful in the show. But with all that insight, I need to ask you your opinion. Is Judith your full sister or your half sister?
Oh, here we go. Here we go. I'll answer it for you. I mean, I think Judith is probably Shane's, but at the end of the day, Rick is her dad. Rick is the guy who raised her. Rick is the guy who, you know, kind of brought her up and made her who she is today.
Thank you. Next up, hello, friend. Name and question.
My name's Joyce. So there are a million different zombie apocalypse scenarios out there, and I'm just curious, in your opinion, which one do you think would be the most plausible or realistic zombie apocalypse, and what would your plan be?
To answer part A, I think The Last of Us is a, like, you know, it's a I think they did a great job with the show of like really kind of like, I don't know, how many of you guys have seen The Last of Us? A lot of you guys. Nice. So for those of you that haven't seen it, at the very start, it talks kind of about, you know, how something like that could happen, how the fungus could, you know, like start to do something like that, how it's possible. And I think they did a great job of really kind of scaring the viewer into being like, you know, if down the line it were possible, this might be how it would go. So I think The Last of Us they do a pretty good job of it, and I think that's, you know, all of how fungus, like, it talks to each other and everything, and how they portray it in the show, they do a really good job. So I would say The Last of Us.
Your zombie apocalypse plan.
Suicide. Yeah, I'm out.
You want to tough it out?
Nope.
I mean, I've got no discernible skills. I mean,
I know, me neither. No, yeah. They always teach us to never aim the guns at actual people on set, which is, you know.
Is that what you did every time?
Yeah, you never point at anyone. So, but like my muscle memory, I would just always aim to the side, and then I would just instantly be dead and torn apart. So, might as well just take myself out of it, just to save myself the trouble.
Like, I love that. Just like, no, I'm out.
Yeah.
Hello, my friend. Name and question.
Hi, my name is Sherry. while The Walking Dead is my favorite show, I have a different outside of the box question. What is your favorite 21 Pilots song?
Oh man, you know, I just went back and listened to Blurry Face not too long ago. I used to be a huge 21 Pilots fan, like way back in the day. I was like die hard, love those guys. Oh gosh, I mean, I think no, I'm gonna go with Goner. Goner's like really high up there for me. I love it. It's so good.
Before we get to the next question, we're going to get to someone's arm is being propped up over here, so we're going to have to get to you after. So we'll go here, and then we're definitely you can put your arm down, my friend. Okay, Marshall's coming. Hello, my friend. What's your name and question?
My name is Bella Reynolds. What's your favorite scene in The Walking Dead, Chandler?
Oh man, it's so hard to pick a favorite scene. I love the episode where Carl's eye gets shot out is like, in my opinion, oh my, like, it's like one of the best episodes ever. Like they edited, like the editing team for that episode, they did such a good job because it's like just a masterpiece of, it's like a whole movie that you watch of like Alexander being taken over and then them like saving all of it. It's just such an awesome, it's so hard for me to like pinpoint a certain scene, but sequence, like if I could choose a sequence, it would be that sequence of like them just like killing every single last walker in there. It was so good.
Thank you so much. Okay, how's your arm?
Tired.
What's your name and question, friend?
My name is Aiden. Met you earlier. One, how's your eye doing? Two, what was a scene where you're like, you really had to use all your skill and you really feel like you broke through your level as an actor?
It's a great question. Yeah, my eye's doing great. Thank you for asking. And I think it was probably my some of my last scenes that I did on the show because I really wanted to just make his last episode just as good as it could possibly be, and just really just do everything I could to do the character justice and give it the send-off it deserved. Yeah, I would say like in his just that whole last few scenes in the church where he's dying, yeah, it would be that. And then, of course, it was like a night shoot, and it was like 4 a.m. that we were shooting all those scenes, and we were all exhausted and tired and sad. And yeah, I think those really kind of like brought it to the next level. But it's so interesting going back and watching this, or thinking back to like what my process was back then, because now it's like I've had 6 years of training at this acting studio that I'm now an acting coach at, and it's such like, oh man, I think back and I'm like, God, I could have done like if I had just known what I had known then, it would have been so much better. But I think I think it did it justice, and it was then that like really made me want to just do it as best as I could.
You did brilliantly, so
thank you.
Good. Before we get to the next question, because I see a few tired arms, I can see you, grey check shirt and glasses. I see you were holding your arm, and there's a little one in the front as well with the skull t-shirt. Okay, hello my friend, name and question.
Hi, I'm Peyton, and I just wanted to know, so I watched you on Drop the Mic go against Chad L. Coleman, and I want to know what it was like being on the show.
It was a lot of fun. It was really, really awesome. All those guys so those of you guys don't know, Drop the Mic, it's like a rap battle, and I had a rap battle against the guy that played Tyrese, and I won. It's like, makes no sense how that should ever be possible. But it was great. It was so much fun, and Chad is like, he's such a great sport. I mean, you have to be a great sport to like, roast each other on a thing like that. But it was great. It was so much fun. Everyone was so awesome, and both Chad and I had such a blast, and it was great. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you for your question. Hello, my dear. What is your name and what's your question?
My name's Leah. Is it hard and scary to kill the walkers?
Oh,
It is not hard and scary to kill the walkers. No, they're awesome. They're like, I mean, they're all normal people. I mean, it's like at these conventions, if you see people dressed up in like zombie makeup or anything, they're not, they're not scary. They're just normal people walking around and doing normal people things. So it's not too bad. Yeah.
Hello, my friend. Okay, we got you. What's your name and question?
Melanie, and I just wanted to know, being that you were so young when you started the show and kind of grew up into it, was it ever difficult to deal with such adult material and graphic themes and things? Was it ever scary, or did you have difficulty overcoming anything like that?
I mean, it's when you have the material so far in advance and like you know what you're getting into, it's really not too bad. The one that like really kind of like impacted me long term is because I had to just stay in that headspace for the next few weeks of filming for the subsequent episodes was after Carl had to kill Lori. It was like on my 13th birthday. It was like the worst birthday ever. But yeah, it was. Like my character was just in that headspace for almost the whole rest of the season, and just that like, just cold and like, just emotionless kind of like shell for the longest time. So yeah, that was a weird time in my life when I was 13. But other than that, like, most of the stuff was pretty, I mean, we're actors. We have our job is to not let ourselves be affected by it personally, and to show up and do the job and not make everyone else around us miserable to work with us. So it's yeah, usually like 95% of the time, totally fine. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Name a question, and then we're going to get you there because you had your hand up as well, right there. Great. Okay, go for it.
Hi, I'm Sophie. I was wondering, like, is there a scene or episode that you just hated recording? Like, you didn't want to be there at all, like, too many shoots or something, like, you just wanted to die?
Oh man, honestly, I don't think so. I mean, every day on set, I had such a blast, and for me, I only had to work like my days were limited to 9.5 hours when I was under 16, and then 10.5 once I turned 16. So I was and most of the other cast and crew worked 12+ hour days. So I was able to just be like, all right, see you guys, So for me, it really wasn't too bad. I didn't feel ever like overworked or like I just hated being there. Yeah, honestly, like kind of a boring answer. Sorry. Every day was just like so much fun and such a blast, and yeah, I always was so stoked to go to set every day.
Thank you. And hello there. What's your name and question?
Hi, my name's Dakota. I was wondering, because as a young actor myself, do you have any tips or advice you'd like to give to young actors?
Yeah. I mean, it's really just to stay persistent with it, and with auditions specifically, because to give you kind of like a frame of reference, like I will go for like years at a time without a callback. Like it'll just be audition after audition after audition, over 100 auditions without a callback. So, and so much of the time, and now that I'm kind of on the other side, the production side of it, so much of the time is stuff that you can't control. It's height, it's look, it's how you match up with the other characters. If you look too much like one character, if you look too much like someone else they've already casted, or not enough like someone else they've already casted, and or location. If you are a local hire versus a remote hire, if they find someone that just has it more. And with self-tapes, it's such a guessing game. You're just like throwing, like it's like closing your eyes and throwing a dart at the dartboard and hoping it lands on the bullseye. It's like you're gonna miss so many times. You can't even open your eyes to see where you hit. It's like it's so difficult. But if you stay persistent, that one time it will be the bullseye. And the best advice that I can give is to start with theater, because in theater, when you're auditioning for things, the pool of people that you're competing against is so much smaller than it is for self-tapes. You send in a self-tape, you're going up against hundreds, in some cases like 1,000 other actors for the same role, versus like for community theater. Yeah, for like community theater, it's like 20, 30 people for the same role. So your chances are way higher that you'll hit that mark that they're looking for, and you'll be able to hopefully be in the room with the director and can give you notes and give you feedback, and you can show that you're flexible, that you can work with them and give them what they want. Yeah.
Thank you. Now, before we get to the next question, I feel so bad for all your arms. So what we're gonna do is, after this question, Marshall, if you can just stand in the middle and you just come and see Marshall so you don't have to have your hands up in the air. Okay, go for it. What's your name and what's your question?
Hi, I'm Lizzie, and I was wondering what you thought was Carl's most pivotal, like, turning point as a character. Like, what storyline did he go from just being Rick's son and coming into his own person?
Yeah, you know, I think it's God, the pudding episode is known. Yeah, that's the best way to identify it. Yeah, that episode. I mean, it's the interesting thing about it is the scene where Carl is yelling at Rick on the couch and everything, and, like, mad at him for all that stuff and saying that doesn't need him anymore. That was actually my audition scene. Like, when I auditioned for the show, it was obviously written based off of, like, it was pretty much copy pasted from the comic book for the audition, but that was my audition scene. I guess they wanted to, like, make sure that I could do that, could have that turning point, seasons down the line, and make sure that they got the right person. So, yeah, that would be my answer. Is that just that whole episode where he goes from just being, like, just annoying, like, kid, and then, like, really stepping into his own and accepting that, like, you rely on other people for your survival. Check.
Thank you. We've got one question over here, but our friend here in the green t-shirt, step forward. Everyone stand behind our little friend in the green t-shirt. That's going to be the question queue there. Okay, what's your name and question, my friend?
My name is Steven, and my question is, while you were on The Walking Dead, like, at one point there was this meme that came up that was dad jokes between you and Rick, and I was just wondering, what was it like being in the public eye at that age, and what was your reaction specifically to that meme?
You're talking about, like, right after Carl kills Lori, and it's like it's Rick on his knees and everything. Yeah. Everyone knows what. Yeah. With the show, it was a gradual kind of, like, increase, and I had been, my first convention was like a month or two after the show had aired, and it was like not many people cared about it or like watched the show. I mean, it had an awesome, following from the start, but it wasn't anywhere near remotely what it is today or what it was, at its peak. And so I'd go to conventions, once or twice a month for, that's how many I've been doing for, like, since the show started. And everyone, it was like a little bit more people, and so it wasn't like an overnight, like, it was instantly thrown into this, like, all of a sudden now it's so many eyes on me and so many, like, people watching my every move. It really just was, like, a gradual thing, and, like, I don't know, I remember like one of the first times I saw, like, myself just in like, on social media. I was, like, scrolling through, I had, like, iFunny. Any guys have had, like, iFunny way back in the day? Yeah, it was like an app where just memes was pretty much what it was. And then I remember I was just scrolling through, I was sitting on the bus on the way to school, and I scrolled by one of those memes, like, whoa, that's like, I was showing all my friends, I was like, I made it on the featured thing, like, that's crazy. And yeah, then it would happen again, like, a month later, and then again and again. And so it was kind of just like a gradual thing, but it was always so cool to just see people actually care about it, or that many people care about it enough to, want to kind of make it their own. And that's kind of what I took away from it. It's cool.
Thank you. Hello, my dear. Sorry to keep you waiting.
It's okay.
What's your name and what's your question?
My name is Luna, and who is your best friend on the set?
Oh, man. Kind of like I was saying earlier, Andy, the guy who played Rick, was, he was there almost every day that I was working, and he was just, like, always, asking about, like, my family, my brother, my parents, and asking about school and everything. And I mean, he was just always just awesome. And there were a couple of other cast members that, you know, were just closer in age to me and asking just about all sorts of stuff. So it's, I don't know, I mean, everyone, we were all super close and super, like, you know, I mean, we were all there and all kind of bonded together in a hot, sweaty mess and all those long, disgusting days that we had to be outside in the woods, you know. So, yeah, I don't know, we were all like family. It was great.
Thank you, Luna. Hello, friends. Name and question.
I'm Paige, and I just wanted to ask, is there any scene from like the comics that you would have wanted to play if your character had lived?
Yeah, I mean, I was definitely looking forward to like all of like the Whisperer stuff and how Carl kind of like played a pretty large role in that whole story, and obviously into the Commonwealth and so there's so much cool stuff there. But getting to see Matt Lentz, who played Henry in season 9, get to take up that mantle and like bring that part of the character to life was so cool. Because he's a good friend of mine in real life. He's Madison Lentz, who plays Sophia. He's her younger brother, and so getting to see him like bring that part of it to life was it was so cool. And right after I finished watching all of the season, I sent him this big long text. I was like, dude, you really like it was you really brought what was left on the table, what I didn't get to do. You really brought that to life and did Comic Carl justice. And I was like, just thank you for doing that. So I would have loved to do it, but it was so cool to get to see Matt, get to see someone else kind of take a stab at it.
Thank you so much. Next up, hello. Hi, my friend. Come straight up. What's your name and what's your question?
My name is Amari.
Hi. What's your question? It's okay. Speak up. Well, can we have a round of applause, please? We love you. Thank you for getting up. Thank you so much.
He wanted to know if your rapper name was actually Carl Papa.
Yeah.
There you
That's
go.
a great question. That's a great
good
question.
my friends.
Yeah. Have you guys all seen that video, the bad lip reading, the Jingy Jar Jar do? If you don't know what I'm talking about, Google Carl Papa. It's hilarious. It's great. Well, I honestly, I wish I had done that video. I wish my rapper name was Carl Papa because that video was hilarious. It was great. I'm glad you enjoyed it, man.
Thank you for getting up and asking. Everyone give him a round of
Thank you,
applause. Wee sweetheart, thank you so much.
My name's Aiden, and I was wondering if you like the Negan and Alpha scene in the woods.
I didn't watch season 10, so I've heard about it, but I haven't seen it, so I unfortunately cannot provide an opinion. But I heard some thought it was great, some thought it was really weird and unnecessary. But I can't speak for myself. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank
you. Hello, my dear. What's your name and question?
Blair, I was wondering what your favorite movie you worked on, or just favorite horror movie in general.
Yeah, oh man, favorite horror movie. You know, I think my favorite horror movie is, oh man, okay, it's between, I love Sinister, but like scariest is Hereditary. That's just like such an, I just even thinking about it is just unsettling to me. But favorite movie I've worked on, I feel like it's like always like one of like my latest things. You know, the rom-com that I got to do last February, it was so much fun. It was a really small crew, a really small cast, and we were all like packed into this tiny town, and we basically took over the whole town. There was like, it was such a blast. Like, the whole cast and the whole crew, we were going out and like hitting like the only 2 bars in the whole town like every night. It was such a great time and such a great experience and such like a real family bonding experience. It was great. Yeah.
Thank you. Can we have a round of applause for all the fan questions, please? Thank you. And Marshall with the mic. Everyone say thank you, Marshall.
Thank you, Marshall.
Thank you, Marshall. I've got some fun questions for you before we end. Some apocalyptic questions.
Amazing.
Okay. You got to pick a survival weapon There's not a lot of choice. You have a very large frying pan or a baseball bat. What's going to do more damage in your opinion?
I feel like the baseball bat, right? Well, wait, how big is very large? How large are we talking?
It's like the size of a large plate.
Yeah. I'd probably go with the bat.
The bat. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Get some
I mean, you can do more with the bat too. I mean, you can look at Lucille, wrap barbed wire around it, or put some nails on it. You know.
That's true. I feel like you could heat the pan up,
That's true.
and you could
That's true. Yeah. You can cook them.
You could cook them zombie fried,
Yeah.
whatever. Okay. In a group of people in the apocalypse, are you a leader or are you more of a supporter?
Me myself, would most likely be a supporter of someone else figure it out. I'll kind of I'll help out, but someone else figure it out.
And what skill would you offer to the group? I mean, we already
Not much. We've established that there's not much going for me.
I feel like they would need entertainers in the apocalypse.
I guess,
right?
yeah.
I play guitar, so I could play guitar.
There you go. Yeah. I'm not very funny. I couldn't do stand up for everyone, though. I feel like that would be a great skill to have, as an entertainer.
There's not a lot of competition in the apocalypse.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think you'd be all right. I think you'd be good.
Yeah.
Okay, pick 5 essentials to keep in your cupboard in case of an apocalypse. What's under your sink, just in case?
Oh man.
5 essentials, foodstuffs or not foodstuffs. It could be anything.
Yeah, I have an earthquake kit at my house in California, and I mean it's like wind up radio and flashlight and food rations and water rations. I feel like all that stuff is pretty essential stuff to like kindling for making a fire. I feel like lights, just some sort of light source and some sort of fire source for food and boiling water and stuff. I feel like that's
You're pretty
essential.
sorted.
Yeah, I mean, if an earthquake happens and my house falls down, it's not gonna be good. So
You're good.
gotta be ready.
You're just gonna write a tight 5-minute stand-up set, and then you're basically sorted, Chandler.
Yeah.
Then you're cool. Okay, last question. Your best friend, whom you love dearly, has been bitten. Do you keep them around just in case there's a cure, or do you just put them out their misery, just get rid of them?
You got to keep them around. I've seen Shaun of the Dead. Any Shaun of the Dead fans out there? Yeah. You got to keep them around. Just keep them around. I mean, you could like Michonne. She did that in the show.
I feel like hopefully maybe there's some kind of memory recall. You could maybe train them to do some stuff.
Yeah.
Clean up around the house.
Yeah. True.
So I would love
Very
that.
true.
Just keep them chained up.
Put them on like a bike that generates electricity. Yeah.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, we're all going to Chandler's house if there's an apocalypse. Great type 5. He's got a great stand-up set, and he's got a couple of zombies in the basement as generators. Chandler, you're here tomorrow. Is that correct?
I am. Yes.
And all day today. So, for those who didn't get to ask a question, or if you were too shy, please come up and see Chandler. Is there anything you'd love to say to the good people of Roanoke before?
Just thank you guys so much for coming out and for giving me such a warm welcome here. Yeah, please come. I'm literally right there, so please feel free to come by, say hi, and high five, whatever else rhymes with I. And yeah. Thanks for coming out. I really appreciate it, guys.
Chandler, you're wonderful. Thank you so much,
Thank you, guys.
everybody. Round of applause for Chandler.
Thank you, guys.